Hello Cubers, welcome to another Chill MTG Vintage Cube Draft. If you are here for Cube content, you have come to the right place. Super excited to bring this draft and gameplay to you. This first match that we're going to play is probably one of my favorite, most exciting matches I've played in the MTGO Vintage Cube, probably ever. And I'm super excited to share it with you. So, and yeah, if you are looking over my shoulder, seeing what the heck is going on here, it is Girl Scout cookie season at my house, so I salute all the other cookie moms and dads out there. It's been a fun time. So here we are. Let's jump into pack one, pick one. I am a Rakdos player at heart, so I'm really eyeing this lightning bolt. And if I was a blue mage, I'd maybe be interested in this brainstorm, but it's hard to turn down a pick one, pack one lightning bolt. Here in pack two, some decisions to make. Cards that I like that are pretty strong. I mean, if we want to do broken stuff, there's the Tinker, right? And that could be pretty strong. Blue-red, maybe do some artifact shenanigans. Fireblast is a little bit more all-in my opinion. It's really all-in on red. There's a Grim Lavamancer and an Augur as well. There's really a lot of good choices here. If I'm going to pick a red card, I'm leaning more towards Grim Lavamancer. It's a little more flexible than Fireblast, I think. And then if I want to go two colors, you know, Tinker, Augur, Autumn's probably okay. But let's go with the Grim Lavamancer here and see what comes in pack three. And oh my, this is the Planeswalker pack du jour, huh? We have Nissa, is probably one of the best Planeswalkers in the cube. Dak, super impactful. And even there's an Ugin if we want to go crazy. I am going to lean towards Nissa. I can just win games with Nissa on my own. The double green pips a little harder, and then wow. Here we go. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Pick four. Love seeing that strong red card after we already have cards like Lightning Bolt. And I'm hoping maybe we can move in on red here a little bit. All right, pick five. Gargaroth is a strong card. I think it's better than Swiss Spear. And since we have a Nissa, I kind of want to pick up the Gargaroth. There's just some decks, if you don't have removal for Gargaroth, it just shuts it down, right? Like if we're playing against red aggro, Gargaroth can really shut that down. It's hard for red aggro to deal with a 6 toughness blocker. All right, let's be responsible here. There's a Stomping Ground. I do like Garrick, but with multiple colored mana pips already, right? The 2 green in Nissa, the 2 green in Gargaroth, and the 2 red in Chandra. Let's pick up this Stomping Ground. There's a Skoos. So Murta, not what I'm looking to do here. I have not yet found how that deck comes together. So we'll pick up Skoos, and then here, I don't want Koth. Koth is really a mono red card. So I guess we can take Porcelain Legionnaire. We don't have a lot of low mana value creatures, and we can cast that on 2. Here's a Pia and Kieran, which I do like, making some extra bodies. Yeah, definitely not on any cheat combo shenanigans here with Gruul. We're probably going to be pretty fair. Maybe we'll get a natural order, but natural order in non-mono green decks, i.e., you know, a dual color deck is really not as strong as when it's in mono green. Oh, wow. So Augur comes back. This was in our pick one, pack one, and we'll just take it here. All right, there's a Proving Ground. Not the fixing we're exactly looking for, but I will take it. Double pips all around here for us. And so we are in dire need of some fixing. Nothing for us here. We'll stick the Silent Clearing. Never know when you're going to need those lands, right? So if it's all things being equal, you don't want anything, just take the land, I think. Jackal Hops. Not going to play it. Definitely going to draft it. And here's Goblin Bombardment. And keep your eye on that card. That card's going to come in clutch here in these future matches. All right, finishing out with the Triumph. Let's go to pack 2. All right, there's Cradle. Anytime you can just get more mana from a single land than one, it's pretty strong. So we'll take Cradle here and look to draft a few more creatures. We're doing okay on creatures right now with 6, but we definitely want creatures with our Cradle. So there's a Lightning. We're not Ortho Druids. I'm not ramping into Dynamo. So let's just take Lightning. Pretty decent on our interaction. It's all burn based, and that's pretty par for the course when you draft red, that your removal and interaction is, you know, direct damage based. So, you know, if we come up against anything that's really strong in terms of power, sometimes it can be hard for us to deal with it. All right, here's some choices. We have no fetches yet, so otherwise I'd be looking at Wrenn and 6. Jiraga Tree Speaker can ramp us out. Tireless Tracker is strong, and there's also Pest Infestation. Because we have the Gaia's Cradle, I want to take the Pest Infestation right here. If we're able to ever make some pests, that's just really going to turn on Gaia's Cradle a little bit more and vice versa. So that's the reason I took that card over something like the Mana Dork. Here's a Hex Drinker. Love Urza Saga, but we're not an Urza Saga deck, so let's take Hex Drinker. Since we do have the Augur of Autumn, having creatures with different powers will be important. Right now, we have our Lavamancer as a 1/1, and then the Ooze and Hex Drinker are 2/2s. Porcelain Legionnaire can help out a lot here as a 3/1. So we don't quite have a good density of different powers to really turn on Augur, but even just playing lands off the top of our library with Augur is pretty strong. Oh, wow. I love me a Skull Clamp, but I also love me a Craterhoof Behemoth. The Dismember's good. We probably don't need Mizium Mortars yet, and I do love Walking Ballista as well. I think we need to take Hoof here. I think the decision is between Hoof and Skull Clamp, and Hoof can win games. Really going to be prioritizing a Natural Order here, as Natural Ordering out a Craterhoof is usually pretty good. But even if we don't get a Natural Order, right, with cards like Gaia's Cradle and Nisa Who Shakes the World, we could just hard cast a Hoof. So I do like me a Zealous Conscripts here. Stealing your opponent's best thing and swinging it at them with them. Swinging them at it with it is usually quite good. And looking at our curve, I'm going to want to prioritize just a few Mana Dorks here, I think. And still looking for that fixing, right? A fetch, another dual land, a Taiga would be quite nice. Definitely a lot of white and blue cards going around, huh? I guess we take the Relic here as a sideboard against Reanimator. All right, there's a red fetch. And I'm going to take that over Survival. As Bloodstained Mire can fetch up that Stomping Ground. Okay, Raging Ravine. Yeah, it's fixing. Super slow, though. There's also a Dire Fleet. So I'm looking at those cards. Kitchen Finks, probably not. So I think the pick is between Raging and Dire Fleet. But let's get the Dire Fleet here. It's another creature. Sure, Progenitus in case we do pick up that Natural Order, but likely just going to keep the Craterhoof as our target, I think. There's all... It's either that or Karn, right? Ramp into Karn. Probably not playing either of those cards. Love a Tireless Tracker here. Pretty easy pick. Happy to see these, kind of quality green creatures coming around. We'll just take the Tomb here, all things being equal again. Remember, take that land. Not playing any of these cards. And looks like we're rounding out pack 2. A Hearse for the board. So we're decent against Reanimator here with a Hearse and a Relic. And a Mind's Desire for them Storm players. Okay, pack 3. Let's bring it home. What are we looking for? Well, a Mox Emerald. That'll do there very nicely. We got to Incinerate in here as well, which I'll look to get. There's a Wooded Foothills and a Hierarch, though. I think we want to take the Foothills here. Just let's get our mana a little bit better. I don't know. We could take this Hierarch because it helps turn our Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, let's do that instead. We do have a lot of 4 and 5 mana play, so we also want creatures with the hoof, the Craterhoof, so we'll take Hierarch here. Oseju, another red fetch. There's a Rex Sage. We do already have the Pest Infestation. Let's just take the Rex Sage, though. Again, prioritizing some creatures for this Cradle. An Excavator, a Horizon. There's an Inferno Titan. I think our top end is maybe okay already. We can take it. Though I'm not confident about it here. Without a Natural Order, I probably won't play this Craterhoof. So if I'm not playing the Craterhoof, I want the Inferno Titan as my top end. All right, there's a green fetch with Windswept Heath. A Rabble Master makes tokens. Yeah, let's take the Rabble Master. So we're moving into more of a mid-range Gruul deck here. Voted Druid's interesting. And then there's Hellrider. I think I want the Druid over the Hellrider. We're not aggressive enough, I think, for Hellrider. And the Devoted Druid having 0 power really helps out with triggering Autumn. Augur of Autumn. Pyromancer seems good here. So works real well with the Gaia's Cradle. There's an Escape to the Wilds. Okay, let's take that. Yeah, so I do like Escape. Escape's a decent draw spell, especially when you have a bunch of mana with something like the Gaia's Cradle. So Cradle really an integral part of the way I'm drafting this deck right now. Prioritizing multiple creatures, tokens, Seasoned Pyromancer, P and Kieran, things like that. Trying to turn on the Augur here with multiple powers and then having some top end there with like Gargaroth and Titan. So I think I want out of this pick probably the Incinerate. Just some more interaction. Again, red, green, our removals all basically burn based, which is unfortunate. Sometimes it's hard to deal with large threats. Wheel for the board, not going to play it. This could be our deck here. Good creature density. I don't think I want any of these cards. We'll just, again, take the bad lands. Steam Vents, again, all things being equal, take the lands, really enable that splash in case something magical happens here, but I don't think there's anything left in this pack for us. Yeah, no natural order. Okay, so let's build this thing. Okay, here's the deck. Your pretty fair Gruul mid-range deck. I don't think we're going to be doing anything busted. I anticipate this deck will probably be like 2-1, something like that, but I love playing these decks anyways. Playing Fair Magic is just super fun to play anyways. We have the Mox Emerald here to ramp some stuff out. I'm hoping to trigger Augur a bunch of times. And then we have some strong Planeswalkers with Chandra and Nisa and top end up there with Inferno, Titan, Gargaroth, things like that. So that's the deck. So let's jump straight into the feature match. Some epic gameplay. I hope you enjoy. All right, welcome to match 1, game 1. We're up against Prognostics here. Opening hand, man. I had a green source for this hierarch, huh? Let's see. So without a green source, I mean, the Cradle won't do anything either. I don't know. This is probably a sketchy keep at best. We do have Lightning Bolt to hold up, and hopefully we just rip a green source. All right, opponent leads out Island, Mox Pearl, into a Smuggler's Copter. Pretty good turn 1 there. We draw a Mountain. All right, definitely going to leave Lightning Bolt up. Planning to bolt this Copter. All right, opponent throws down a Plains into a Trinket Mage. What do they fetch up here? A Esper Sentinel, pretty good. Usually don't see Trinket Mage get Esper Sentinel too often, so nice play by the opponent. We will bolt this Smuggler's Copter before it attacks, so our opponent doesn't get the trigger. Down on mana here. All right, there's a green source. Love to see that. Okay, so let's get Hierarch down. This will turn on our Gaia's Cradle, and we can, if we can go P and Kieran next turn with Gaia's Cradle, we should be looking decent. Seacombe Coast untapped. There's the Esper Sentinel that we know they have. Coming in, we will not block with the Hierarch. We really need this Hierarch to stick around. And the opponent passes. Opponent may have counter magic up, but, I don't think we can play around it right now. So I guess play the Tireless Tracker. All right, yep, there's a mana drain. I guess we'll get in there with the Hierarch. We're not blocking with it. We still have some good cards in our hand. I mean, we can get Gargaroth down next turn or P and Kieran. Let's see how our opponent uses this mana. Jite. Jite is a serious problem. Yeah, that's going to kill our Hierarch. We need Rex Sage or Pest Infestation ASAP. I guess Pest Infestation would be best to make, yeah, definitely not Hex Drinker. That'll just die to the Jite. Can't play Gargaroth. Our only play right now is to get P and Kieran down, and it's not looking good. Our opponent does only have 1 card in hand. If we can deal with this Jite, we may be able to get back in it, but Jite by itself here is going to just deal with this P and Kieran. So if we don't draw an answer to this Jite like next turn, we're probably dead. We will have to like triple block this Esper Sentinel. I guess we can double block here. This will, yeah, we'll just triple block anyways, like whatever. They will get 2 counters. Okay, they make it a 3/3. They'll get 2 more counters. They'll be able to remove a counter to kill our last Thopter. Yeah, and again, we need to deal with this GT now. Yep, they move the equipment over to the Trinket Mage. What do we get? Dire Fleet. They do not have anything in their graveyard that we can cast with that. And the 1 toughness on Dire Fleet, pretty awkward. The first strike would be great. But the fact that there's still a counter on the GT, I can't deal with it. Yeah, I guess we need to pass. If we can get Gargaroth down, but even then, this GT with 3 counters, the Trinket Mage can just eat the Gargaroth on attacks. Maybe 1 more turn if we can draw a way to deal with GT. Worm Coil Engine. Yeah, okay, that's not going to do it. Okay, game 2 on the draw. This hand's much better. We have a green source to play our Noble Hierarch turn 1, and that's what we'll do. Unfortunately, we can't get down the Seasoned Pyromancer turn 3 because we won't have double red pips, so that's a little unfortunate. Wish I had my Stomping Ground in hand here. All right, lead out on Hierarch. As expected, what does our opponent got? Planes go. All right. All right, there's a Legionnaire. It's pretty decent as we can play that. I will pay the 2 life. I just want to get in there with the Hierarch for damage. Also allows us to play around Mana Tithe that way. Always got to play around the Tithe when you can, right? All right, Stoneforge Mystic for the opponent. What do they get? GT again? Sword of Fire and Ice. I wonder if they have GT in their hand. Okay, we draw a Lightning Bolt. So we can play Pyromancer here. And if we do, what do we ditch? The Incinerate maybe and the Inferno Titan? We're 2 mana off from Inferno Titan, which could be pretty strong. Let's just ditch the Inferno Titan and Incinerate. Obviously, this is a kind of a big decision in the game to play the Pyromancer here. All right, we get a Burst Lightning and a Chandra. So that was a good trade because the Chandra we can play next turn. And having Lightning Bolt and Burst Lightning seems good. And we got a pretty decent board here. All right, opponent plays Plains Go. I'm expecting they'll just flash in the Sword of Fire and Ice. Daredevil, again, not looking good against this opponent. Maybe a consideration to side that one out. Let's Burst Lightning here because I want to get rid of the blocker. Yeah, and this will force them to spend their mana to get Sword of Fire and Ice down. I did not play Chandra there as I did not want to play into a counter spell. But let's get in here. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. And we can hold up Lightning Bolt. So our opponent's going to be at 8. And we do have a Lightning Bolt in hand, so effectively 5. And Chandra can deal some damage as well. So we get in for 1 more attack. I think we got this. Let's see what our opponent plays. I mean, something obviously like Rathagad would be pretty bad here for us. No plays, huh? Well, I'm not going to run Chandra into a counter spell, so let's just go to attacks. Opponent's going to be at 1. We can fetch out here. And I'm just going to pass the turn. Like, holding up Lightning Bolt's probably pretty good. What does our opponent play? Bribery. Well, that's good to know about. Bolt in response, that should do it. Okay, game 2 down 1-1. Okay, with the bribery, our opponent showing us bribery. Like, I don't know if I can beat my own Inferno Titan. So I'm actually going to take Inferno Titan out here in the board and probably bring something in like Grim Lavamancer. All right, game 3. We are on the draw. Ooh, let's keep this hand. If we can draw like 1 more land, will be decent, I think. Opponent leads on a Savai Triumph tapped. Let's just play Goblin Bombardment. I don't think there's any reason to hold up Incinerate here. And our opponent plays another white, so they have no blue sources out, which is kind of important to note. And I'm just going to hold this Rex Sage. I think having the Rex Sage is too important, honestly, to play to an empty board. You get a Trinket Mage, huh? What do they fetch up with this? Mox Pearl. Okay. I'm just going to kill the Trinket Mage here, as Trinket Mage carries a GTA as good as anything else. And I'm pretty worried about GTA. All right. No mana is unfortunate here on our turn 3. So missing a land drop. Our opponent makes their land drop, plus they have Mox Pearl. So they're up to 5. What do they play with it? Gideon Jura. That's a problem. Definitely a problem. If we get a red source here, no red source. I was going to play Seasoned Pyromancer. We do draw Augur, though, and there's a Chandra on the top of our library. So again, missing mana. Kind of putting us in a bond. Gideon up to 8 loyalty. I expect Gideon to just kind of get in there now, as we can't block it profitably. I don't want to chump. We're at 20 life. Yep, opponent makes Gideon a 6/6. And then opponent plays Sword of Fire and Ice, and I'm expecting they'll equip. They do equip. Okay, so Gideon getting in for 8 damage. I'm not going to block it. We need this Augur to survive because I want to play lands off the top of the library. And 2 damage again from the sword, so that's a 10-point life swing right there. We will have to block that card next turn. And it does have pro red. Okay, there's a Bloodstained Mire on the top. We need that. Here's 4 mana. So I think here we have some options, right? We can play Seasoned Pyromancer for some blockers, but the Sword of Fire and Ice being pro-red makes that pretty useless. Chandra doesn't do anything. So let's play Rex Sage and deal with this sword. And this will now I know I can block the Gideon if we need to. And now the decision is, do I attack Gideon with Augur? I think we do. That will tap our Augur and kind of make it open for Gideon to downtick on to destroy. But if we do this, Gideon goes to 6 with the attack, and then if they downtick, Gideon goes to 4. And I can, if I draw a land, we can maybe Zealous Conscripts and destroy Gideon next turn. Oh, what is this? Elish Norn. All right, well, I guess let's sack Rex Sage here in response. Using Goblin Bombardment. Let's just ping the Gideon Jura. We need to deal with Gideon. And we need to deal with Elish Norn. All right, opponent does downtick on the Augur. Okay, so we're up against a Gideon and an Elish Norn. And, all right, well, there's a 5th land. Okay, so this... All right, this is a huge, huge impactful play here. We can fetch out our Bloodstained to go get anything. With our 5th land here, let's play Zealous Conscripts, steal the Elish Norn, and attack down the Gideon. And because we have Goblin Bombardment on the battlefield, this Zealous Conscripts is super gross. Yep, so let's use Elish here to attack down Gideon, and we'll use the Zealous Conscripts to go face. And then before we end the turn, I'm going to sack Elish Norn using Goblin Bombardment. So there's 1 more point of damage. And more importantly, Elish Norn is off the battlefield. That was a huge turn for us. All right, now I'm feeling a lot better. Now that our opponent has an empty board. They do play Blade Splicer. Blade Splicer into GTA. Okay, so they did have GTA in hand. They equip the First Striking Golem. Okay, yep, First Striking GTA, pretty good. We do have Chandra in hand, so let's play Chandra and downtick. We need to keep that GTA from doing combat damage to us. And I'm going to play this Hex Drinker here. So Goblin Bombardment coming in clutch, as if they try to equip this Blade Splicer, I will just sack the Hex Drinker to destroy it. And then 3 more damage at our opponent. All right, opponent goes straight to combat here. Expecting they're attacking down Chandra. They are. All right, well, we'll just trade and block. Like, I don't need... Like, Hex Drinker is just a dude. Just a snake. I definitely want to keep my Chandra around for some card advantage. Gosh, another big play? What is this? Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Routro. Pro from red and green, huh? And they have a GTA on the battlefield, and Sphinx has Vigilance and Lifelink. Oh boy. All right, so uptick in Chandra reveals a Grim Lavamancer. I don't think we need that. What are we gonna do here? Pro red and green. So I can't block this. Actually, we can play P and Kieran, and those Thopters are colorless. So the Thopters on P and Kieran can block the Sphinx. But like, if we take one hit from this Sphinx, we're just dead, right? Like, and the reason being that it's a huge life point swing, and GT is going to get some counters. So like, yeah, I can't attack into this thing. So we basically can't attack anymore this game. Can we deal 9 damage is the question. So I expect our opponent to, yep, there they go, crew up the Sphinx. They get in there with Sphinx. But we do kind of have a trick up our sleeve here. There's no reason for them to not attack, right? Yeah, they attack. But we can block with a Thopter, and then before combat damage, we can activate Goblin Bombardment, sacrificing the Thopter. This will prevent combat damage from occurring, which means our opponent doesn't gain life, and the GT doesn't gain counters, and we deal damage to our opponent. Okay, we may be able to squeak this one out, because we can uptick on Chandra and deal damage. Oh, our opponent plays Palace Jailer. What do they exile? They exile the Thopter, right? Yeah. Yeah, they take our blocker that can deal with the Sphinx. Okay, and they're going to get the Monarch, which we're never getting back. We sack the Thopter in response, so now they're on a 7. We can uptick Chandra next turn. They're at 5. We draw a Porcelain Legionnaire. Let's uptick Chandra. They're at 5. What is it? A Dire Fleet? No, I want Chandra to deal damage here, so we just won't play that. But actually, we can play Seasoned Pyromancer, and because we have 2 permanents in our hand, like non-lands in our hand, it'll make 2 1/1s. And then we'll have 5 creatures on the battlefield. Our opponent's at 5. Goblin Bombardment. Dude, did we just turn this game around? Yep, discard these. Did we? I think we have this. I don't think our opponent has a way to interact with this. Sack, yep. Do we just beat like Gideon, Elish Norn, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, GT? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. That match was amazing. Oh, man. I totally thought we were just totally going to lose that game. We were stuck on mana for a few turns. Goblin Bombardment. Didn't know that card was that good, did we? Obviously, the turning point of the game initially was the Zealous Conscript to steal the Elish Norn, and then sacrificing Elish Norn with Goblin Bombardment. Again, if we didn't have Goblin Bombardment, stealing the Elish Norn, wasn't going to win us the game. Or wouldn't have been as impactful, right? And then the ability to sacrifice those Thopters, using colorless Thopters to block the Sphinx, and then sacrifice those Thopters with Goblin Bombardment so that Sphinx wouldn't gain life and the GT wouldn't gain counters was super critical. Wow. All right. If you enjoyed that match, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, check out some of the other great cube content that we got. And anyways, thanks for hanging. Thanks for chilling with me here. Don't touch that dial, and let's keep cubing.